There was a moment driving to my daughter that I thought of just letting go of the wheel. And welcome to Learn From Me Sis. I'm Christina Jade, and this is my space where I tell the truth about all things healing, motherhood, heartbreak, and rebuilding a life that I'm truly proud of. And if you ever felt like you're carrying the weight all alone, then this podcast is definitely for you. 2022 was the year my healing actually started, but not in a pretty way, not in a journal and felt better type of way. It started because I was not going to survive like that. Every single day felt like something new was happening. Like life was forcing me to either deal with it or drown. And the only thing that kept playing in my head was, but what about my kids? I'm all they have. And instead of saving me, that thought actually pushed me deeper. Because on paper, I had everything I worked for. I had finished nursing school. I was working full time. I had my house. I had my kids under my roof. This was supposed to be my year. So why did it still feel like something was sitting on my chest? And that's the part nobody talks about. When your life looks better, but you feel worse. Nursing school? Brutal. Homelessness? Again? Brutal. Watching my son struggle mentally, that broke something in me. And then trying to just move on like nothing had just happened. That's exactly where I messed up. I've been in and out of counseling for years. Not because I healed, because I stopped going. Money, avoidance, self-sabotage. I wrote the letters. I did the exercises. But the feelings, they never really actually left. Like, my body was just so heavy. Like, so heavy. That year started with hope. I was starting to be more open to the possibility of starting a relationship. I knew I was about to get my house. I was making RN money. But then everything started stacking. The St. Martin's trip, I ignored every red flag. July, my son told me he was. And then October, my daughter gave me one of the biggest scares of my life. My daughter now, she's amazing. She's going to be better than me in every single way. And that is the goal. But back then, there wasn't a day that girl didn't have me clutching my pearls. She lied, got caught in the lie, then tried to have her friend lie for her while she was standing in front of me. I was looking at her while she was using her phone. What? You are not serious right now. You think I'm that blind that I'm not looking and seeing your fingers move? Like, excuse me, daughter, what are you doing right now? Oh, nothing. Girl, give me your phone. I wanted to wring her goddamn neck. Of course I didn't. She's still alive. Today, she's 17. Because I just got my nursing license. I'm not going to jail. I need to interrupt the program to give a detailed message. At that time, I had just found my house in Jacksonville, okay? The kids were still staying at their grandmother's in Orange Park during the week because of school. So I'm juggling all of that, plus dealing with their father, who was actively in addiction, narcissistic, and just draining. There was no winning. I was constantly being criticized, and anytime I try to stand up for myself, name calling. And all he had to do was get my younger two on the bus. That was all. That was the expectation. Meanwhile, I'm paying bills, paying for medication, paying for counseling, working full time, and trying to hold everything together. At work, I couldn't turn it off anymore. That superpower I had, it was gone. Like, how unprofessional is it to be like crying as you are taking care of somebody who's actively dying? It wasn't just burnt out. I was honestly probably dying inside. And something I don't talk about enough was the fear I had that when my daughters turned 18, they were going to leave and I would never see them again because of my relationship with my own mother. That generational trauma. It was driving my parenting. Until that year, that was the year I realized I can't parent like this anymore. I can't make decisions based on fear of the future. I have to parent based on what's happening right now. But I was still in it, still overwhelmed, still very much drowning. Then homecoming. Her punishment was up, and she's at homecoming and I'm at my friend's house. You know, my younger two kids were acting out. I'm stressed. Their father is unreliable. My son is struggling. Everything is building. And like, it was supposed to be a good little breaky break that was much needed, trying to help her set up for her daughter's birthday. So like, I was excited to hang out with her, excited to hang out with my friend, my bestie. And, you know, we were supposed to just vibe, be able to just chill. And while I was there, something told me, check her location. She wasn't where she said she would be. I call her. Get her to finally tell me where she is. It's like she forgot that we were sharing locations or something. I really didn't understand. She had went to some boy's house. Before I even leave to go get my daughter, I remember having this moment outside of my friend's house. I just lost it, frankly. Like, I don't ever remember feeling like that before. I felt like this sense of fullness in my brain. And then it like almost like a muscle tensing up and then just releasing. But like there was just like this pop sensation. And I was like, oh shit. Is this an aneurysm? Like, am I stroking out right now? Because the anger that was inside of me in that moment was so intense. So that drive, you know, something in me snapped. I didn't want to do this anymore. I didn't want to feel anything anymore. And for a moment, I thought about just turning that wheel. Just slightly. That's all it would have taken. And I would have just gone over the guardrail. And I would have just flew for a good like 30 seconds. And then lights out. And just not have to deal with all of this responsibility that's on my goddamn shoulder that I have to fucking carry day in and day motherfucking out with no fucking breaks. I was done. No more pressure. But instead, I screamed. I screamed like everything in me was coming out. Coughing, screaming, breaking. And at that point, I was listening to Linkin Park heavy. Like, it got to a point that my bestie was like, Christina, like, maybe we listen to something else? Huh? Maybe this isn't the best? Nah, Linkin Park it is. On repeat, baby. I was listening to Linkin Park Essentials. And then one more light came on. And you're angry, and you shouldn't be. It's not fair. And in that moment, that song just really resonated something inside of me. And that's when I knew, like, I cannot keep living like this. So what's the lesson? Holding everything in your head will literally break you. I didn't start healing until I stopped trying to carry everything silently. I would get in my head about just, jumping at my house, like in my room by myself, because that helps release stuck energy, right? If you just shake your body. I used to judge myself like, oh, somebody's gonna see me. You're in your room by yourself, and who cares if somebody sees you? Fuck it. They'll think my kids already know their mom's crazy in the good way. Okay. My body was warning me way before I hit that point. I just kept overriding it. And if you keep pouring into everyone else and ignoring yourself, your body will force you to stop. And if you're there right now, I see you. Because I was you. And sometimes I still am. But today, we start pouring back into ourselves. Even if it's small. You could journal for 5 minutes. Set a timer. Literally 5 minutes. If 5 minutes is too much, make it 3 minutes. Make it 2 minutes. You can go for a 5-minute walk. You can just sit in silence without your phone for 2 minutes. You can scream. You can just bounce, jump in place. That's a good one. That's a favorite one. I'm going to link actually like the research about jumping in place and really opening everything up, because I think a lot of people should just do a nice little 30-second jumping in place party, little put your favorite beat on and jumping in place. We're jumping in place today. Jumping in place today. We're jumping in place today. Because we're on learning survival mode starting today. Thank you for spending time with me. If this episode helped you feel seen, make sure you subscribe and share it with somebody who needs it. And remember, you're not behind, you're becoming. I'll talk to you in the next episode.